Hi, everybody. Kara here today with the topic of syllable stress. Um, syllable stress is important for people who are trying to spell English correctly. And because English is a stress-timed language. And so that means that we don't have a predictable words don't have predictable stress patterns. We also don't have a situation where like, oh, well, every other word gets stressed, or every other syllable gets stressed, something like that. So it can be difficult to identify a stressed syllable in English, especially if you are a native English speaker, because it's just something that has happened. It's just been in the air around you, in the spoken environment around you your whole life. Native English speakers do not put stress on the wrong syllable when they're speaking. They just don't. So we don't, for example, put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. That's an example of putting the stress on the wrong syllable, right? It's emphasis on the wrong syllable. Put the emphasis on the right syllable. So this can sometimes be a marker of a giveaway, for example, of somebody who's not a native English speaker, because they might do just that. They might not, if they've not ever heard the word before, or if they're just new to learning English, they might put the stress on the wrong syllable. So what native English speakers have difficulty doing is identifying a stressed syllable. It is not that you can't hear it. You can. It's identifying the stressed or unstressed syllable. And this is hard for kids too. So a couple of strategies. One of them would be to what we call get the word in trouble. So a stressed syllable, first of all, will have a full or strong vowel sound. And that is where we can relatively clearly identify that vowel phoneme. Think about the vowel phonemes that are around the outside of the vowel valley. So, e, ah, o, oo, ah, all those vowels are strong vowels. The unstressed syllables in English get they get reduced, or they become weak. And that's that schwa sound. The schwa sound is the sound of the vowel in an unstressed syllable. So that's why we have that word banana. The nan in banana is stressed, banana, an. But the other two, all three are represented by the letter A, right? But banana, so those are reduced, unstressed sounds. Okay, so getting a word in trouble, for example, like when your mom is mad at you and she wants you to, she's asking you to come over to talk to her, she'll say, Kara, come over here, right? Kara. My name is Kara. So that's how my mom will say my name if I'm in trouble. Kara. She doesn't say Kara. She says Kara. So there's that emphasis or stress or kind of a stronger way of saying that stress syllable, Kara. Or if my name was Melissa, my mom won't say Melissa or Melissa, she'll say Melissa. Okay, so Melissa. So the ma and the sa are the unstressed ones. Okay, so getting the word in trouble can be anything, doesn't just have to be your name. It can be computer, not computer, or computer, computer. So the pew is the stressed syllable there. Okay, or dinosaur. It's not dinosaur or dinosaur, it's dinosaur. Okay, so that's one way, getting the word in trouble. Another way is to call the word to dinner. And what you'll notice in this one is that there will be a change of pitch. you're almost kind of singing the word, and there'll be a change in pitch of the unstressed syllable versus the stressed. So if my mom was going to call me to dinner, she'd say, Kara, right? The sort of higher pitched syllable was the stressed one. Okay. Or for example, dinosaur. Okay. This one can be a little bit more subtle. And notice how you're also kind of elongating, sort of artificially elongating the word. Whereas when you get the word in trouble, you're saying it like you would actually say it. Okay. But that is another one. It's called the word to dinner. Now, another one is to take function and content word homophones and give examples of how they are pronounced differently, because function words are almost always unstressed. So if we take the content word TWO, and the function word TO, when we actually say those in connected speech, they don't actually sound like homophones. It's not two and two. It's actually what we do with the TO is we very much reduce it and we kind of blend it in with the other words that are around it. So like, do you want to go to the store? To the store. I don't say to the store. I say to the store. That phrase right there, to the store, has actually two unstressed words, right? To the store, and store is the content word there, to the store. But I don't say, I have 2 legs. I say, I have 2 legs. I have to stress that 2 is a content word. It's telling me how many legs, right? It's not 2 legs. I have 2 legs. Nobody would know what you were talking about, okay? So the whole function content word thing can also be helpful when you have homophones that are content and function. And another one is the suffix es. So the suffix es is reliably unstressed. So for example, dresses. So I hear, if I was to get dresses in trouble, I'd say dresses. I wouldn't say dresses. I would say dresses if I was calling it to dinner. So that unstressed es, what we know about it is that because it's es, we know that it adds a spoken syllable most of the time, right? Dress is 1 syllable, but dresses is 2, and it's unstressed. In fact, that's part of the reason why it can be hard to spell. This is where stress is important in terms of spelling, as is morphology, because I need to know that dresses, like she wore all of her dresses over the weekend. Dresses, all of them. Well, what's the structure of that word? Well, it's got a suffix at the end of it to make it mean more than one. So what's the base? Dress. And I'm adding a suffix to make it mean more than one. And in this case, I'm adding a syllable to do that, dresses. So when I go to write it, I know that I need to write es, not just s, because I've added a spoken syllable. Okay, so again, when I say dresses, I can hear that I'm not stressing that final suffix, right? That second syllable is not stressed. So those are some ideas for syllable stress. It takes a lot of practice. You never know which strategy is going to work for a certain kid. So that's why you have multiple strategies. You have to force them to use the strategy. You cannot, if they tell you that the second syllable in dresses is the stressed one, then they have to like tell you how they found that out. They have to show you by calling it to dinner or getting it in trouble. Okay, and if they say, well, I say dresses. Really? Do you say dresses? Oh, no, I say dresses. So I'm not saying that you can't give them feedback on their examples, but you've got to force them to actually apply the strategies. You can't be the one just demonstrating all the time. And And of course, then you have to make sure that a lot of the reason we're doing this is so that when we go to spell words, we take into consideration the stressed and unstressed syllables. So you've got to make the students practice this and then apply it where they're supposed to be applying it. We're not just finding stressed syllables for the fun of it. There's a reason. Okay, so lots of practice and application. Okay, so I hope that helps, and I'll see you soon.